Ultraman 80, Ultraman 80, he came to us from the start. 君は誰かを愛しているか、それは生きてることなんだ。君は勇気を持っているか、どんなことにも負けない心。僕の星から来た男が愛と勇気を教えてくれる。ウルトラマン80、ウルトラマン80。He came to us from the start.
Hello, you are listening to Ultra Q episode 117. My name is Red, I'm joined by Mel.
Couldn't come up with a bit. Hi.
Hi, bitless behavior. Also joined by Brad.
It's pretty appropriate that this is the 117 episode, because if you think about it, we kind of get like McDonald's Grimace, but what if he was the Arbiter this episode?
What? I mean, I guess.
Apparently we get McDonald's Grimace, but he's the Arbiter. Right, are we referring to the G-Man?
Yes.
How is he the Arbiter?
Hey, he's like your buddy guy who's like an alien. That's really where the similarities start then.
The Arbiter's such a specific guy.
Listen, sometimes you gotta come up with these bits on the fly.
I can come up with that.
He's not a space cop. He's like a disgraced general trying to anyway. Welcome to the podcast. We have 3 more episodes.
I guess you could say that was a bit of a reach by Brad.
Yeah, way. There we go. You're fired. You're off the podcast.
Okay.
Also, we weren't paying you. So, we have got 3 more episodes of Ultraman 80 to talk about today. We have got Balls,
okay.
We have got G-Man from video games, and we have got, what was the third thing? Oh, yeah, we got a repeat of an OG Ultraman episode.
Yeah.
But this time without the king. Without Jisoji himself.
Yeah.
Before we get into any summaries, how we feel about this batch? We feeling optimistic about the UGM era of Ultraman 80?
I like one of these. I thought I was gonna like another one of these, and then the episode played out, and I went, oh.
Mm-hmm.
You could have done that better.
I think I maybe like aspects of some of these, but I also... They kind of just washed over me.
Yeah. We're trying our best. Dear
They're
listener.
not.
They're not. No, they are not. We can just get straight into Ultraman, and we can kind of get it over with.
Let's talk about the worst episode.
Episode 20 of Ultraman 80 is called The Army of Blood-Sucking Balls.
Featuring balls.
Yeah, featuring Rage Ball. A ship returning to Earth is attacked by countless balls, and now the balls are heading for Earth. UGM launched to defend Earth against the balls, but humanity loves ball sports so much that the balls are able to hide in plain sight. This is an incredible bit. UGM find a crashed car.
Fucking nerd wrote this episode.
UGM find a crashed car. Inside that car, victims of the balls. They've had all their blood sucked out. They're not just any balls, they're blood-sucking balls, and they've just snuck into the UGM squad car while Takeshi wasn't looking. Back at base, a scientist tells UGM that this sample ball they found is just one part of a greater organism. There must be a central blood-sucking ball. Emergency! The balls are in the base! Takeshi and Tajima track down the balls, and Tajima gets got. After UGM gasses the room to kill off the rest of the balls, Tajima has to be treated. They gotta freeze him. That should kill the ball tentacle that's inside him, but it's experimental and there's no guarantee he'll survive. The chief says go for it. Meanwhile, blood-sucking balls attack an international conference. UGM launches to fight, and the balls join with the prime ball and turn into a giant ball kaiju. But it's not a ball, it's just made of balls. Takeshi gets shot down and turns into 80. He explodes the ball kaiju and then chases down and kills the prime ball in space. The day is saved. Later, Tajima is recovering from his experimental freeze treatment, and a ball comes in through the window. The whole UGM team panics, and then Sarah arrives at the window and says, "Oh, sorry, that's my ball." The end. That's the episode.
Is the big exciting part of this episode supposed to be the reveal that they're a hive mind?
I think maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
It's the 80s, guys. We're already on very well-trod ground. This is just kind of... The most entertainment I got out of this was them just yelling, like talking about, "Oh my god!" When they're attacked by the balls at the start, someone says "countless balls," and I'm like, "This is incredible."
I like the
stupid
prosthetics and the makeup on the victims who have been sucked.
Oh yes, the grey stuff. Yeah, that's just pretty good. I am when they freeze Tajima, and it's like, I'm like, I didn't even know that guy's name was Tajima. I learned that today. So I don't really care that much. Oh well.
Yeah, if it was Ito, maybe I'd care.
If Ito was at risk of death again, Ito should be like near death every time and has to be saved by someone giving up their life for him. Like every week. And we slowly kill off the rest of the cast.
Oh no, the person in the spore sensor was also an alien who was his fiance.
Yeah. I have almost nothing to say about this episode.
No, it's really boring.
I don't remember. I kind of have watched all of these episodes times 2 speed, and I kind of don't remember shit about this one other than, I guess there are balls in it. They froze that guy.
They froze that guy.
They did that.
He survived.
Oh, I do have...
gas scene.
I did make a note of that guy, because I was like, is he someone who's been in the show before? So I looked him up on the Ultraman wiki, and not only is it like, oh yeah, he's been in the show since episode 1, but then like when they have like the biography of like this dude's life, the very first thing they note is this episode. And I do feel like that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, if you want to do stuff like this, you need to make me care about these people.
Yeah. He's gonna die, and I'm like, I don't know who he is. That's a red shirt. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We got like half the UGM guys are fucking Ultraman 66 level of characterization. Because when the show started, they were not supposed to be the focus characters. There was an entire classroom full of characters instead.
And here's the thing, Ultraman 66, they could pull character out of their ass when they wanted to. Not here. Tajima's just guy number 2. Yeah,
like what's the difference between Tajima and the other guy, other than like one of them's got really curly hair for some reason?
Yeah. I think it's just his hair. I think he's just got good hair. Harada's like the guy who's reckless. That's his thing. He's the Arashi of the crew. I wish Arashi was here.
No, don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, Arashi, don't shoot. And he'd be like, no, I promise I won't. And then he would.
Yeah, he can't. He's compelled.
He's compelled.
Classic. Classic Arashi.
Classic Arashi. Who made this episode?
This episode was made by director Samaji Nonagase, and then writer, new writer Ben Sakushi, who I looked up and went, oh, this is absolutely a pseudonym for someone. I couldn't determine who, but they only have 2 screenwriting credits, and they're both for 2 different episodes of this show. Mm-hmm. Which reeks of pseudonym to me.
Okay, I need to know, does Japan also... Are pseudonyms... I would have to look into this. If someone's using a pseudonym in Japan, is it a sign of work they don't really want
like
to be associated with?
Whatever situation.
Or is it something else? Because, people use pseudonyms for lots of different reasons. But I'm wondering if sometimes we get an episode has someone's worked with a pseudonym, but they've also worked on other Ultraman before as well, and it's I don't know why they've used a pseudonym here. So I don't know.
Well, I do remember some of the pseudonyms that we talked about, and this was a while back, and I feel like we've seen it less and less. Was to get around restrictions. I think that weren't industry or union related. I think it was more company mandated of it was a way to get paid twice essentially for an episode you did.
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's still in effect because I feel like we've kind of seen that go away. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mel.
Well, special effects director is Koichi Takano. Ball guy, suit actor Takashi Yamazaki. I have to do a correction. The designer of the kaiju for the season is not Osamu Yamaguchi, but Shu Yamaguchi. Weird,
I see.
Translation issues when translating kanji. Readings happen.
Well, what else is there to say about this episode?
Nothing.
They should have dispensed nerve gas on the guys.
They did do that. Chief Ito in this episode is occupying the tough guy can make the hard decisions thing, because he makes the hard decision about the gas, and then he makes the hard decision about we freeze that motherfucker. And
3 in 1,000 chance, which is a really funny ratio.
It's a really amusing statistic to pick. Yeah. He's got a 3 in 1,000 chance.
It's you ever get one of those fractions you can't reduce anymore?
Make smaller, yeah.
It's foiled.
If we truly do not care about this episode, we can move on.
Yeah, let's go.
I have more to say about the other 2, I feel.
Yeah. The other 2 are kind of the significant episodes this week. Episode 21 is called Shine into Eternity. Shine into Eternity. Space G-Men 85. Featuring Kaiju Gamos and G-Man Zakal. Towns are being destroyed by something. And UGM suspects an alien. Specifically the L-85 alien, who are normally peaceful creatures. Surely it couldn't be. How do you know all that, Takeshi? Says someone else in the room. And Takeshi's intuition, I guess. Also, what the fuck? Is that Non-chan? No, that's Kosaka Yuriko, the weather girl at UGM. Oh, okay, Yuri-chan. Man, some people look similar. Stupid. Fucking stupid. The team launch to track down this dangerous alien. Harada finds him, shoots him, and he escapes. Takeshi finds him next, and he goes, Ultraman, do not attack me. Takeshi is sure, okay, and he doesn't snitch on the alien either. In the middle of asking questions, a call comes through. The giant kaiju Gamos is attacking. It's got a foam spray that melts buildings and also people. Takeshi joins the attack but gets psychically attacked by the alien, who's Takeshi, it's rude to kill steel. Takeshi flies off to find the alien again to find out what the fuck that means. The alien explains his name is Zakal, and he shows his badge that proves he's a G-Man. G-Men are space cops from the Andromeda Galaxy. Zakal is that kaiju is number 2 on our most wanted list, and I'm bringing him in, and I'm I want to watch your show. Takeshi says, okay, I'll help, and Zakal says, no, this is my fight. Gamos killed my wife and kids 20 years ago. I'm literally 2 days from retirement, but, like, different because I don't want to retire. I want to die fighting Gamos.
And
Takeshi says,
I need all of you to know at home, as Red is describing this, this alien does look like Grimace from McDonald's with, like, more hair. He
does. Yeah, I want to die fighting Gamos, and Takeshi says, well, okay, but I can still help, and Zakal says, sure, man, and knocks Takeshi out. Zakal, yeah, so now, Takeshi later says that Zakal, gives his life to turn big, so I guess this is the moment he sacrifices himself, by turning big to fight Gamos. And he gets wrecked. Takeshi wakes up, turns into 80, fights Gamos, also gets wrecked. Zakal is like, 80, his weakness is high-frequency sounds. And 80 spins really fast, creating high-frequency sounds that stun Gamos. And then he belt-buckle beams the kaiju and it's destroyed. Zakal says he can now go to his wife and children, and Ultraman flies his giant body up to space. Later, Takeshi watches the sky, thinking of the brave Zakal, who gave his life for women and children everywhere. The end.
This episode is ridiculous. I kind of love it.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
It's alright, yeah.
Here's the thing. The moment he shows his cop badge, I'm like, yes!
It's a pretty funny cop badge.
Yes!
It's that and him being like, I only have 2 more days while I'm still in the G-Man force. And I'm like, this dude's gonna die.
Yeah, we are not exaggerating when we say 2 days from retirement. He specifies that it's 2 days. But I also like that it's not 2 days from retirement because he's like, no, I don't want to retire. I don't want to live my life. I want to die fighting Gamos. That's what I want to do. I love this stupid guy. And his hang up over Takeshi beating Gamos is he's like, no, my kill.
Yeah.
He's doing the fucking jarhead shit. I like the space cop. I like the G-Man.
I like Takeshi being really bad at lying.
Yes. He goes full Dan mode right at the beginning of this episode. He's like, no, the L-85 aliens are really peaceful. They would never do this. And someone's like, how do you know that? And he's like, oh, fuck. I guess I don't know that. He gets admonished for using... He's like, Takeshi, if you're a UGM agent, you can't just say, oh, I got a feeling. Come on.
And he's also like, yeah, did you see the guy? Yes, where? Well, I actually didn't see him.
Chief's just like, oh, don't get my hopes up like that.
I love the scene where, like, I can't remember, so one of the UGM crew are flying overhead in the plane, and he has to, like, shoo him into the bushes like they're convicts.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Yeah, this big fuzzy guy is like a weird design for like, we just got a fun alien.
They keep doing like emotional close-ups on his somber face, and it's ridiculous.
I'm a big fan.
Like it looks like a purple Ewok that like maybe has been hitting the bottle a little too late the last few days. It's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a look.
Yeah.
We need more furry friends in our Ultra shows, I think. This is what this convinced me of.
Yeah. I mean, one time we had like a furry alien friend in the Ultra show, and we thought he looked stupid.
You know why I bet they don't do more, actually, that I'm thinking about it?
Expensive?
Well, not only that, I bet this shit gets gross and, like, moldy in the back way... Like, this is much harder to, like, preserve and keep to reuse for future shit,
I'm thinking about, like, how, like, in Ultra Fight, the Wu suit looks like it's made of mops.
It does. The Wu suit looks bad. Man, was it Ultra Fight that had the incredible final episode, or was that Red Man?
No, Ultra Fight. We only saw the first 10 episodes of Red Man because it was just like a taste.
Mm-hmm.
We got the curated list for Ultra Fight.
The last episode of Ultra Fight just taking place in the room where they store the suits, incredible. Yeah, I'm pro Zakal. I think his motivation is kind of dumb. He's like, so I want to save I want to get revenge for my wife and kids, and that's why I have to be the one who kills the kaiju. And eventually, like his arc is like, it's learning.
Not that one.
Takeshi, not that one. It's like Takeshi can kill the kaiju, and that's kind of the same. That's fine. I'll still be at peace. The revenge is not important. Justice is. But they initially start out with like this thing where he's like, you were gonna kill Gamos. I'm here to capture Gamos and take him back to Andromeda Galaxy to face trial, basically. Which I think would be was when they started going down that route, I was like, this is so cool.
They reveal that there's like an FBI's most wanted list, but for like kaiju. Yeah. It's
so good. In the Andromeda Galaxy specifically. So presumably Melos is over there.
We get the spin-off where there's a fucking like Mephiles walks up to the G-Force, and we get like the Ultra Blacklist thing.
Yes. It'd be so good. Yeah, who made this episode?
This one was made by Noriaki Yuasa and then written by Hiroyasu Yamaura, both of whom we have seen before in the series.
Mm-hmm. Mal.
Special character is Kazuo Sagawa. Zakal is his human-sized actor is Takeshi Obayashi, and the suit actor for the giant is Koichi Nara. Gamos' suit actor is Akira Hori. And we have a new character, Yuriko Kosaka, who is played by Noriko Shirakasa, who is the same actress as Non-chan, because apparently TBS was like still wanted her in the show.
When he was like, oh my god, it's Non-chan, and she was like, no, I'm different, and he's like, some people look real similar. I was like, they're having fun, but I just feel too much bitterness in my heart.
You know what I immediately thought of when this happened? Mm-hmm. Boy, if I was Kyoko's actress, I would be fucking pissed off right now.
Oh my god, so pissed off.
Yeah.
I was getting like kind of second billing in the show. Well, maybe
but she was like the heroine, kinda.
Yeah, like, now she's gone. She out.
Do we think she's coming back?
I have to hope they're trying something in the background. I have to hope they're trying.
I mean, it would really suck if they got all these people and were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be part of a 50-episode show," and then they just like fired half of them,
like when they fired everyone in Mac twice.
Yeah.
Super High Productions, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Not stable employment for actors, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, it was weird. Oh well. What else is going on in this episode?
The spin attack is another classic. Oh, sure, you can do that. Why not? But I think it looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He did just pull out his ass again.
Yeah, we've got I did like the scenes of people getting fucking melted.
Yeah.
It's been a bit since you had melted foam, which is like a staple.
Yeah, melting foam's a good one. It's one of my favorite variants.
I like the harsh mustard yellow filter on the flashback to the alien planet.
Yeah.
His wife and kids getting melted, and he's like, they asked me to get justice on them, and I was like, I think they were dead. I don't think they did that. I think maybe you made that conversation in your head. maybe the Zakal, the L85 melts slower. It's possible. That would be worse, maybe. Worst way to go.
Get revenge on me. Revenge.
Yeah.
Like that. Exactly how it sounds.
Exactly like that. That's exactly what it sounded like.
This is basically The Last of Us of Ultraman.
The Last of Us of Ultraman.
How?
It's about revenge and the cycles therein.
The cycles of revenge.
And then how it leads us to tragedy.
And now that Takeshi has killed this kaiju, someone else will want revenge on him.
Yeah.
Other kaiju. And then what will happen is he'll kill all of them too until there's no more.
My dad may have been number 2 on the most wanted Andromeda criminal list, but he was number 1 on the people melter list on my planet. And I think that's more important.
He was my number 1 dad.
He was I have 2 dads. He was my favorite one. The other one sucks.
If I ever have to write like a parody like crime show thing, I'm absolutely using the line, he may have been the second number 2 on the FBI's most wanted, but he was my number 1 dad.
I'm the other dad is in the background being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, fuck this. Y'all can go to prison for all I care. I'm getting a new family.
Some dads just do that. It's kind of fucked up.
I'm trying to think of anything else to say this episode. I really just like the fuzzy cop.
All right,
man.
I was out for a sec. Someone was in this room. Yeah, I'm maybe struggling to find any more to say than that, but here we are.
It's a very straightforward revenge, but at what cost story.
Yeah, unlike the really complicated school episodes.
True.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck were they thinking with a 2-parter last week?
Listen, sometimes I feel like maybe people in decision-making capacities have to say things to justify their bad decisions. And they may be bullshit.
I'm just saying, if you're going for like the school stuff made things more complicated, why'd you produce that last week?
Yeah. Writing hard.
Having never written anything in any professional capacity, I think you'll find actually is really easy.
True.
I'm just imagining that it would be fine. I would simply handle it.
I'd simply just not have production issues.
True.
Do you want to move on to Peggle 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Episode 22. When the planets align, something will happen. Best episode title of this show. Stupid. When the planets align, something will happen.
The book has the much more subdued and reined in title, The Day When the Planets Align.
That's so much better. Featuring Gamora 2. A volcano launches a great big orb into space and it eclipses the sun. Well, that's not good. It says everyone except not Non-chan, the weather girl, who announces to Takeshi that it's going to be a nice clear day today. Not Non-chan, I think you haven't looked outside yet today. UGM launch to the volcano to investigate where this orb is from, and they get captured by an underground society. Like literally underground, not like... led by a woman called Enos. Enos identifies Takeshi as an alien and tells him to leave Earth. He's like, oh, are you an alien too? She says, no, we're kind of the original inhabitants. She explains that the Ice Age happened and her society fled underground, and now the surface dwellers are digging for oil and stuff, and it's fucking up the Earth. And now when the planets align in 2 years, the gravity and the solar stuff and everything is going to happen, and the Earth will fall apart. So her plan is to eclipse the sun permanently, and everything should be Gucci. Takeshi is like, well, for you maybe, but there's a whole ecosystem on the surface that needs sunlight, so we should probably figure something else out. The surface people and the underground people could work together even. And Enos is like, okay, I believe you, and lets Takeshi head back to the surface to negotiate a peace. Unfortunately, on the surface, they're already trying to launch missiles at the orb. And Takeshi's like, what are you doing? He convinces the captain to go convince some other guys not to fire the missiles. They succeed. No missiles. Unfortunately, there's this one military guy called Ishijima who is a problem, and he attacks Jono and orders the launch of the missiles himself. The orb is destroyed, and Underground Takeshi is like, this must be some kind of mistake. We can work this out. Enos is doubtful, but all doubts and questions are put to rest when Gamora 2, the sequel to Gamora, is awakened. Enos and her underground society go into hiding, and Takeshi turns into 80 to fight Gamora 2. He wins, and then the body of Gamora 2 is consumed by the Earth. Everyone in UGM is like, I don't think the day is actually saved this time. What are we going to do in 2 years? Takeshi hopes that humanity and the underground people can cooperate when the time comes. The end.
You go first, Val.
Earlier in the week, Cross Zeta sent me a message like, yeah, I think it's pretty funny that you have Gamora this week as well as last week.
Gamora, I would debate whether this is Gamora 2. Surely this is the prequel to Gamora.
It's Gamora 2 because the second one to show up, because that's how Ultraman works.
That's the human-centric naming schemes of Ultraman. Yeah.
It's the original Gamora right here. From back. This might be
Gamora
the
Zero.
other Gamora's like
Gamora minus
this
one.
Is Gamora
Gamora
minus one. Finally.
This episode kept making me sit up in my chair like, oh, that's not true. I watched this in bed like a lazy fuck. But metaphorically made me like lift up going like, oh, and then like the person talking finished their sentence and I kind of shrunk back down and went, oh. Case in point, this whole thing about like, oh, and then our people have suffered countless cataclysms because of what the humans are doing on the surface. Anyways, everything's gonna go to shit when the planets align, and I'm like, well, hold on. You just talked about all this like environmental catastrophe, and now it's when the fucking planets align. Like, get out of here with this astrology bullshit.
I think they're going for like, the planets aligning would not be a problem if people weren't digging for oil and stuff and like weakening they're making the planet weak. They're putting it in a weak state, and then
they're draining the life stream.
Planets are gonna, they're draining the life stream, and then the planets will align. And that's when
meteor
the solar winds come, or whatever the fuck they're.
Yeah, the solar winds will come, and that will. The Earth will be too weak to stand up to it.
I feel like that gives it too much of a buffer, almost in a way, where I feel like I think you just get a stronger story if it's just like, you guys keep drilling and digging into our places, and it's causing disruptions, and.
But then you don't get the magical, evocative planets aligning stuff, and the fact that they're trying to stop this plan with an eclipse.
The eclipse is pretty cool. Just like getting a big orb into the sky is pretty cool.
I do like. Here's the thing. I would maybe like an invasion story where they make an eclipse, because they when the sun comes back, there hasn't actually been much mention of the fact that the underground people can't live in the sun or anything.
Yeah.
But when the sun comes out, the ones outside do fall over like they're vampires or something, and I'm like, that hasn't been raised.
I think it's funny. There were some guys camp are like, hey, what are those guys? It's some weird like white guys just walk by.
Yeah,
guys in white.
And I'm just, I'm like, is there some kind of idea in this of like, oh, if we eclipse the sun, we can live out on the surface again or something?
Yeah.
And that's not actually what the substance of the conversation that Enos is having with Takeshi.
Even though it would make sense,
this,
Or the other way around is now you need to adapt to how we live after we've been forced to adapt to what you're doing up there. Like, how do you like that sort of thing?
Yeah. A good bit of spite. I like that.
Yeah. But so that rubbed me the wrong way. The other thing that rubs me the wrong way is I feel like if this was a few shows back, this would have ended with a really tragic, all of the underground people died outcome instead of, oh, well, maybe next time.
Yeah, like when they killed all of the Utah civilization.
that the non-malts. I was thinking of non-malts a lot.
Non-malt is more explicit, but I was thinking of Utah just because of how funny it was. There's like, hey, we don't know these guys. We may as well just blow them up over here.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're like, was that maybe a good or bad thing to do? And they're like, well,
Shrug.
we've done it.
We never know.
Which you know has that energy of the 60s. It simply goes hard.
Yeah. I think the note this episode ends on of human weakness lost us this one, but maybe next time all the planets align we might be friendlier and do better is
in 2 years.
Like the
really sucks.
Our classic reference point, Shah's counterattack, where Amuro's like, leave it to the next generation, and meanwhile the movie contains the next generation and what they're up to.
Yes. It's I really wanted to like this one, and by the time it ended I was like, fuck, the non-malt one in particular, I kept thinking about the Jisoji Mole one.
Yeah, like, I mean, the moment you start competing with the non-malt episode and the Jisoji Underground people episode, you gotta go better than that. But it's like, I do think I still kind of like this episode mostly. There's a very like, there's like old Who energy to like when all these people in masks with like guns show up, and all the UGM guys are tied to posts, and I'm like, I'm watching like classic Doctor Who here or something. It's very strange. I was like,
it's funny. The Queen just looks like a normal human.
Yeah.
Yes, she's just completely she's just an ethereal woman. Yeah.
I do always like negotiations breaking down because some people can't be normal. Classic Turn A Gundam scene early on with that shit too. That's probably the highlight of the episode for me. And one dude panicking and just like, I'm gonna start shooting people.
Ishijima is maybe the character that has like an actual arc across several episodes, because this is his deal. This is what he's about. This has been his role in the past, and now he shows up here and hits a breaking point, and he does it again, because we had him in the 2-parter where he's like, well, we should just, he's like ridiculing everyone, but like here he's like so militant, and I think Ishijima's like a nice little character to inject into here. He's like the reverse of that one. He's like the reverse of the Soviet guy who said, no, nuclear war isn't happening. I'm not pressing the button.
Maybe some of that Japanese military ethos of like, well, if we got attacked first.
Yeah. It was, and he's watching that. He's just getting so fucking amped up on like that video of some campers getting menaced.
Remind me what he does in the 2-parter again, because I'm trying to recall and I can't.
The only thing he's like right near the beginning when the UGM are like, we think there's a kaiju on this island and we want to investigate. And this guy is like, no, our satellites don't reveal anything that says like that could happen. And he's clearly like mostly being like just overbearing for the sake of it. Mm-hmm. But like it is partially just a classic type of guy where it's like, we just need a guy to be wrong and to be annoying and oppose the heroes. But I think this moment is like, I quite like it, where he's like,
wild, he like shoots the other guy.
Yeah. When the main general guy shoots Ishijima and is with a gun, and Jonas looks over and then he says, "Don't worry, it was a tranquilizer." No, it wasn't. Don't lie to me. That's a gun.
Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta now.
Yeah. I think the episode, the real moment where I'm kind of down on this episode is the moment where Takeshi and Ina are like having a conversation about the fact that humanity has just attacked this underground society. And then Gamora wakes up, and she's like, "Oh no, Gamora's wakes up. We're leaving the episode now."
I hate that
I'm
too.
like, "Oh, that's fucking stupid."
Yeah. Like
You couldn't even have like it couldn't be like them setting a monster on humanity. It had to be like, it was just like,
unrelated.
Oh, we're just giving up.
We need a monster fight this episode. Gamora's like digs, I guess. It's an underground one.
Yeah. I do like the final shot of Gamora getting consumed by the Earth again. I think that's really good.
I forget if it was this week or last week where there was just like Kaiju just like died by being like erased off the screen or something. And I was like, that looks not good.
Oh, I can't remember. It might have been last week.
I think it was last week.
Or maybe it was the balls.
The balls kind of just fade out in the cosmos.
Oh no, it was Gamos into episode 21.
Oh, does Gamos just kind of vanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
I do, as much as I shat talked past tense Gamora last time, I do like his dumb little finger rockets. I think they're fun.
This is a new design for Gamora. It's kind of nifty.
Oh, is it? I don't think I picked up on it.
I mean, it's like designed with more like the 80s sensibilities. Let me just get an image.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
There's
I guess
Gamora.
that's a little more streamlined, like more menace a little bit.
It's got to be a little bit of a different look at least.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent Gamora. I kind of just like the Gamora head, just in general. Anyway,
It's a
I
good
think
shape.
Good.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps it stand out from others.
Who made this episode?
This was directed by Noriaki Yuasa and then written by Bunpei Ai.
I mean, I can believe that.
Yeah.
Mel.
Special effects director is Kazuo Sagawa. Queen Anus is played by Reiko Kayama. Inus, whatever.
What is her? I mean, my subs say IYNUS, and I was like, how is this pronounced?
Yeah, I had like I'm reading the same subs, but like I just saw like wikis and stuff EINUS. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, like the captain from Gundam Age, Captain Anus.
Yes, that's why I went their way.
You know what? I'm happy to. This is Anus. This is the character Anus. Queen Anus.
And Gamora suit actor is Akira Hori.
Thank you very much. What else is there to say about this episode? I quite like. I think there's a lot of like very cool stuff in here with like the eclipse and the vibe of the underground world, which feels it's like, what if a society was 2 rooms? And
I like the palace set a lot.
Yeah.
Or like the throne room, I should say.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm. But I just think that Gamora intrusion is just like, I'm just like, yeah,
I think
you could have had a real episode.
The eclipse is a little bit dulled for me because we've had the oh no, it's stuck as nighttime thing already, kinda, which is different from an eclipse.
Like, how often has the night had like? When was the night? Was it good? What was the night? Oh, we had the big night, the eternal nighttime episode where it was they had to go get the bell. They had to go do the lore stuff from the Land of Light.
And you know the entire this family's parents died and the kids were on their own.
Yeah. And also the team was just fighting aliens. They were fighting moths the whole time. And the fake Ueno was there doing backflips.
I do love every time we do get like the oh hey it's dark out and it keeps being dark out in these shows. We do get the guy who's like, Yeah, the citizens are getting really mad about it, and it's like, yeah, that's probably an understatement. I too would be really upset if it was perpetually dark outside.
It's so they discuss it like it's like this kind of like
government civil
yeah, like it's yeah, and not like something that's going to ruin the earth. I like it needs
like the water in my place hasn't been hot enough for a few days level of complaint.
Yeah. You've got military guys in a base going like, farmers are complaining about their crops. Ugh. It's so annoying. What else is there to say about this episode? Is there anything else to say about this episode?
I got nothing.
I think they got cool masks. We've kind of already talked about that.
Yes, I basically like the design of the Underground Society stuff. I simply think that you can go watch the episode from Ultraman that is about this and the episode from Ultra 7 that is about this, and you can have a good time with both. Because one of those is like the first time that I clued in on the fact that this Jisoji guy is cool. He's a big deal. And then the second one is what's his face, Kinjo, simply at his most Okinawan.
I got some shit to say about this franchise.
I got some fucking. I feel a particular way. Well, that might be it for the episodes this week, in which case we can talk about color timers first of all. Now,
episode 20, 3 minutes 4 seconds. Episode 21, 3 minutes 30 seconds. Episode 22, 3 minutes 27 seconds.
Fantastic. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I have a question, actually.
You have a question.
A format question. Does it make more sense for us to do emails at this part when Ultraman is still fresh in our brains than
we could
doing our weeks and then doing Ultraman emails? I was pondering this last week while we were doing it.
We could.
I kind of like wrapping up with emails.
It feels strange. I don't know.
The emails always feels like the last thing you do.
But is that, can we break tradition? Because I feel like I'm zigzagging between non-Ultraman thoughts back to Ultraman thoughts, and I feel like it puts me in a weird place when answering emails. I kind of like all the Ultraman in one section, I think.
Am I the casting vote?
If you want to.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
I mean, we can keep it. I'm not that attached to this idea. I just thought it might be worth asking about since we did the other format change.
We don't have emails this week anyway, so.
Do we not have any emails this week?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, no emails this week.
So we can decide another time.
We postpone this decision. Alright. Join us after this break. We'll be talking about anything other than Ultraman. We're back. We're here to talk about anything other than Ultraman. I'm gonna quickly start because I finished the Farthest Shore.
Okay.
I like it. I like the Farthest Shore. I think it's good. I think it definitely does feel more like a traditional fantasy novel. Of the because it first of all. It's sort of weird to talk about because when you're like in 2025 being like, oh yeah, the Farthest Shore feels more like a traditional fantasy novel than like the Tombs of Atuan. It's like these are all classic fantasy novels. It feels more of the style that was already popular before Le Guin was writing, or like as Le Guin was writing them. However, I think I just kind of like it as like the sort of like the sort of the, you know, because I'm going to read Tehanu, and that's going to be a much more critical look at a lot of the ideas in these fantasy stories. However, I do nevertheless like the sort of mythic version of these fantasy stories as well. And so I sort of see, you know, I like A Wizard of Earthsea and Tombs of Atuan and The Farthest Shore as like a, you know, episodes in the long tale of Ged the Archmage. And I, you know, as like the sort of like the story of, not quite the story of magic going out of the world and a new age beginning in quite the way that like the Lord of the Rings is, but like similar-ish, where you have you know, the Archmage eventually going, but like throughout the book there's all these like there's these problems that can't be fixed by Ged because he's a mage, and like yes, he's very powerful, but that he's powerful in magic. He's not, you know, he can't make laws to stop slavery in this town. That's someone else has to do that. There needs to be like a king of a king of the land for that to happen. I've said before, I think that's a very brave thing for like an anarchist to write. I salute her courage. But I just think in like the mythic form, I think it's a very good story. It's obviously it's very tied up in like the people seeking immortality and thwarting nature, and I think maybe this is one of the best versions of that, just in terms of it doesn't feel fake. It like a lot of, you know, sometimes it feels kind of like going through the motions of like this is like a motivation to pick out for someone. This really feels like, you know, something Le Guin really believes is that the like impermanence of life is like very important. And it's, you know, I've basically just found it mostly compelling. I think you know, I had kind of previously thought of this book as being the one that has a bad guy, and it kind of does, but also he's kind of like he's not like a villain to be defeated. He's like as much like he's just like a symptom of this malaise.
Is it like a non-direct conflict, or is it?
It's. Towards the end of the book, you do just have Aaron just. Aaron, because Aaron is like the real main character of the book. Kind of. Aaron is kind of just hacking at this guy's at this bad guy, but like it's the, you know, it's kind of most of the book he's not really there, and he only kind of shows up right at the end, and he's kind of pathetic and a bit of a loser, and like he's not like this, he's not like a cool villain. He's just you know, he's just like, ugh, he's resorted to this stupid idea because he's been shamed. It sort of goes into like this because a lot of the book is about like, you know, the consequences of your actions, and you could maybe argue it's going Kreia mode, where like because this bad guy Cobb is like a consequence of Ged in his youth like shaming this guy, being like, I'm going to show you that it's wrong to do the things you're doing. And
are they doing a be careful who you make fun of growing up?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
But I think it's mostly just pretty good. But like,
like The Incredibles.
Like The Incredibles. Oh, it's The Incredibles. Man. My dad was so pleased to find out that there's a whole cadre of people online who hate The Incredibles for the same reason he does.
I am so fascinated by your dad. Like, every time I learn about this man.
I remember coming out of the cinema and me being like, yeah, I really like that movie because I was a small child. And he was like, eh. And then years later,
asses don't look like that.
Years later, him just being like, it's so sad that I'm a superhuman and I can't do my superhuman stuff. Shut up. Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting on with Tahanu. I pulled out my physical copy that I found because it's in a box with a bunch of other books. I've got this. I've basically all my life, my family have had this copy of the Earthsea Quartet. I spent like the first, 18, 20 years of my life kind of like looking at this book in the shelf and just being like, why is this book has like 4 covers? What's going on?
Did they do like the fucking like DVD 4-in-1 like cover thing where they're just
Let me show you the Earthsea Quartet cover that I had. Or that I have. I have this. I would like a bigger image than this. Here we go. Goodreads here we go. Let me post this. This is the cover I have for the Earthsea Quartet.
Oh, okay. This is not as...
Oh, no, similar. I have one that doesn't have that awful lower banner.
Okay, I was about to say, like... This isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I have this one. I really like this. That Tehanu cover has always enthralled me as like an image, like what a weird image of a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It helps that this is all clearly, I believe, the same painter. At least it looks style-wise very similarly.
Yes.
So it all melds to a piece. Yeah, it is a good cover.
Yeah. And also doesn't draw Ged white. Anyway. What else have I been up to? I played Abzu. Because I played Journey a while ago.
Is it art? Does it belong in the art folder?
Water Journey belongs in the art folder. It's good. There's like, okay, so there's a few segments where where it like pulls you into like this jet stream and you're pulled along and you have to like you in Journey where you do like the slide down the sand and you go through the arches. This one you scatter shoals of fish. And I think every time it does that, I'm like, I would rather be sliding down sand right now. However, the rest of the game is really good. I like just how swimming works in Abzu. Especially the moment I realized I had like a boost, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go every time I saw a surface. I was like, I'm gonna go up to the surface and jump out. And the first time I did that, and then I saw fish like follow me when I boosted, and I was like, oh, are they gonna follow me when I jump? And I jump out of the water, and all like dolphins and fish jump out of the water with me. I was like, this game's great. Love this video game. There's a lot of just like cool environments, cool creepy environments. There is like one time where the game totally, I could tell it was trying to fake me out on like me about to get eaten by a whale. And I was like, yeah, get out of here. You're trying to freak out the people who are scared of the ocean. And there's a couple of times where you're swimming with whales, and it's like, because they're kind of just, because it's the sea, and so it's like dark down there, and it's like you look down and you see these like shapes moving, you're like, what the fuck is that? You get closer, like, that's a fucking whale. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like the game. Good video game. Very quick. You finish it in no time at all.
Like Journey.
There's the great thing where you stumble on the ancient stuff and you start swimming with like creatures that are a little older than fish, and I'm like, this is so good. It's cool. And Sword of the Sea is out, but I'll probably wait.
What if they did a collaboration with the band Fish?
Yeah. They could also do a collab with Real Big Fish.
Oh, true. All the fish bands.
All the fish-related bands. What other fish-related bands are there?
I don't know. I'm going to Google this.
Yeah, fish-related bands.
Fish-related bands. We got Fish, Real Big Fish, and Fishbone.
Ooh, Fishbone.
Country Joe and the Fish. And School of Fish.
Mm.
Blue Oyster Cult. Fuck off. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Oh, I know of a like Scottish folk duo called Saltfish 40.
Oh, there you go.
One of them taught me to play one of their tunes on the violin.
Oh.
Oh. Snazzy.
Those are like proper. They're like from Orkney, which is like nation unto itself. That's a whole different people.
It's like half Norwegian.
Yeah, basically.
Even though it's also like right there.
Yeah. I have like significant Scottish family, and it's like I have no idea what your accent is, bro. I'm like, what the hell is this? What else? Oh, I've been what I have affectionately been referring to as white girl gaming. By which I mean, no one wants to play tank, so I play Emma Frost. No one wants to play support, so I play Cloak and Dagger. So I've been playing Marvel Rivals. It's been alright.
That game was fun the time I spent with it, and then I kind of fell off. But it was a good time when it lasted.
I have friends who are really into it. I just don't play it.
Yeah.
I forgot, is that game third person or first person?
Third person.
Oh,
but
so
it works. It works exactly like a first person shooter, but from a third person perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun playing Iron Man, Luna Snow, and Venom in that game. Those are my three that I kept between.
Hate you. Iron Man? Okay.
Which one of the three? Is it the Venom?
No, Venom's honest. No one hates Venom players. Venom players are simply they're like,
you got the schmovement with Venom. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I'm the real bastards are Spider-Man players. Awful people. Something needs to be done about them. But yeah, most of these are decent video game. Good fake Overwatch.
Some might say better than the real Overwatch at this point.
Well, I mean, yes.
I played Overwatch long enough to see them start to balance it in ways that I was just like, I don't like this anymore.
This is so the friend of mine that is like good at Yu-Gi-Oh and like would play at like would do decently at like UK tournaments in Yu-Gi-Oh was also like pretty good at Overwatch, and basically all during like the Overwatch 2 era I was just constantly just hearing about, oh yeah, so this is like this bullshit, this is dog shit, and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, why are you playing this video game? And he's like, I don't know.
Shoutouts to when I resurrected that stupid Reaper Names gimmick account I made to post about getting Donkey Kong Conga Bongos.
Nice.
That was a funny month of my life.
Yeah. I created the Empire of Britain, this morning.
Crusading.
Yeah,
Kings?
crusading some kings.
Are you still on 2 or did you move to 3? I can't remember.
No, I'm still on 3. I'm fine. I'm sure 3 is a very good game, but like, there's just something about the aesthetic just doesn't vibe with me. I'm just this looks strange.
I think 3, from what I gather, is made a lot more for if you like the personal event stuff. If you're one of those people, I think
yeah,
that's what it's kind of vibing more towards.
I think I'm more inclined to like I like the sort of like as like stuff happens and my character acquires like traits, and I sort of like mentally rotating this person. Like when I had my Empress, who like back when founded like the Empire of Britain last time, who fought loads of wars, became a heretic Muslim, but not really a Muslim because she was like Yazidi, and then because she now had like, because of inheritance stuff, she was like, well, now I have to kill my like 3-year-old child, so that it doesn't fuck up the line, and then got really depressed, won all the wars, got really depressed, and became a poet. And I was like, this is a cool lady. And then this time, once again, an empress who founded the empire and established a new bloodline by winning like 15 wars, and then her grandson became inherited. And he had mid stats, and I was like, I'm just using the seduction for this guy. He became lecherous, and then he caught smallpox, and as a treatment, my court physician made him a eunuch. And I was like, well, and the game like, immediately was like, pick a new focus. You're not a seducer anymore. It's just I think there's a certain, I don't know, I just like some of the I'm used to like the menus of Crusader Kings 2 now, so like learning new menus sounds scary.
I'd like to try 3 at some point, but at this point I'm like, well, I may as well wait until later when they actually add China to the game.
Oh yeah, when they add China to the game, yeah. Everyone's getting China. All the strategy games are getting China lately.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah. It's the Chinese century. The Chinese century is here. President Xi, please, my country needs liberating. We got age verification laws. Please send bombers. Yeah, it's just kind of, I've been fucking around. I've been busy. I'm about to be less busy because my manager's coming back from Malaysia, which is where all her family is. She's like, I'm going for she's like, understandably, she's like, I'm going home for like a while. 2 weeks is not enough. I'm taking 3 weeks. You're on your own. I'm like, fair play, boss. I'll handle it. I have handled it. And now it's over. So everything will be fine now. Who wants to go next?
I have a lot of stuff, but I was thinking, Mel, do you want to go and then end with our shared thing, and then that will lead into my stuff?
Sure. I watched the 2004 Casshern movie.
Oh.
That's weird.
I don't even think I knew that existed. It's live action.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's like set in an alternate universe where the quote unquote Eurasian Empire, which of course has both Nazi and Soviet aesthetics, you know how it is doing a war against these guys, in Zone 7, where it's like genocide stuff. And I don't know, I haven't seen the original Casshern, or even Casshern Sin, so I can't like judge how it's adapting material. It's kind of just like a lot of things happening. But also, one, it seems to be perpetually in the King Oja zone, because it does seem to be like digital backlot sets entirely.
I see.
Two, the theme seems to be the cycle of violence, which is, well, whatever, jerk off moment.
Classic.
Especially because like genocide's involved, and so I'm like, well, okay, calm down, Arikawa. And then exactly, the movie's got some vibes. It like the director seems to mainly be a music video guy, and I think it shows.
Can I read an incredible poster quote that I've found looking up images? Paul Ross of News of the World said, "Better than both Matrix sequels put together. A truly stunning sci-fi masterpiece."
Mel, is that true?
Well, I don't know about that.
News of the World sounds like the fakest outlet I've ever heard of in my life.
I think that's British. I think News of the World is British. Yeah. It's a Sunday tabloid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's dead now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was associated with the sun, of course. Anyway.
Well, anyway, it was alright.
Cool. Alright movie.
Yeah. And I brought our shirt thing.
Yeah. We continued the Toho project.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the Toho project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched.
So you watched another Toho movie. Was it a good one?
I think I like it mostly.
I thought it was mid as fuck.
I have.
Anyway, we should get into the movie first.
We watched Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, the movie that introduces the famous kaiju Ghidorah.
Yeah. His debut.
And also, is the one where all the old monsters team up for an Avengers-style "we gotta stop the alien menace attacking Earth" plot.
Oh my god.
Which is really weird. But because there's always the human plot of this too, which is a princess from another country is visiting Japan, but there are people trying to assassinate her by blowing up her plane.
She does jump out of the plane as it explodes.
Yeah, and then you get an Ichinotani man later being like, well, actually, there's multiple dimensions on this world, and she jumped into another dimension that jumped out again. That's why she's safe. It's really funny. But she also is seemingly possessed by a woman from Venus, from a destroyed civilization that Ghidorah blew up, and now she has to act as a prophet to save humanity, and the two twin sisters from Mothra are like around and are just. So remember how Mothra was about how like, oh no, like the evil like stage producer men like kidnapped the tiny Mothra twins and is like now making them work in show business. Now they're just happily working in show business now. Apparently, like they're just cool with it.
Yeah, I think that struck me as weird. They're like, oh yeah, they did it, but like but good now.
Yeah, it would be like if King Kong showed up in King Kong 2 and he's like, oh, I'm an actor, baby. Yeah, he's like, I kind of liked being on stage actually. So there's this whole subplot about like, is this lady actually from Venus? She is attempting to be assassinated. There's like journalists.
They take her to a psychiatrist and they put on the tests to be like, well, she's not lying. And he's like, well, okay, I believe you.
There's she has like a cop bodyguard man. There's reporters involved. There's a associate professor scientist man. There's a lot happening here. That
it's deeply uncomfortable that one of the gangsters trying to assassinate the woman is Susumu Kurobe, aka Shin Hayata with a mustache. It's the worst looking thing ever.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this image. This is... I can't believe this.
I think my problem with this movie is I do kind of like the weird alien Venus princess being a prophet that nobody believes until they start to believe her because giant monsters are showing up. The part of this movie I really don't like is Mothra having to be an intermediary between the humans and Godzilla and Rodan to be like, come on, Godzilla and Rodan, if Ghidorah blows up planet Earth, that includes you. And then the line... There is a shot where Godzilla and Rodan cheekily turn their heads away from the people, and the twins go back to the humans and say, oh, Mothra says that Godzilla and Rodan don't want to help because humanity's always bullying them. So they don't want to help save Earth.
Yeah, they, like a whole chunk of this movie is just Godzilla and Rodan fighting as they saunter toward Mount Fiji. Just because they just got beef. Despite the fact they've never interacted before.
We went from these monsters being like metaphors for like, you know, nuclear like contamination and like natural disaster and like the primordial Earth response to human industrialization to now they just kind of have like funny personalities, and sometimes they team up to help humanity too, but they're gonna be really grumpy about it because humans always want to stop them from romping around, and it's so weird.
The libertarians.
It feels off. Yeah.
I mostly just felt like this. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the human plot that much. I didn't know what was happening because there was like too many things going on, and also
there's a lot going on.
Like why do they want to assassinate the princess? She gets her memory back when she gets sniped or something.
Oh yeah, she gets her true personality back because she gets shot in the head, but it just grazes her. But that jogs her old personality to come back, I guess.
And yeah, like Ghidorah just like fucks around for a bit, and then like it gets bullied by all the three kaiju for a bit, and then like leaves.
Yeah, I do like the lightning effects on Ghidorah. I think they're kind of fun.
That's good.
Yeah, I feel like Ghidorah, of all of the monsters that we've gotten, like I guess I would say like the big ones that like come back and kind of become mainstay, like, you know, Godzilla franchise, like regulars. All we really get from Ghidorah is, oh, he blew up Venus once. But, like, not much else, from what I can remember. Like, he's just a menace. That's his entire characterization, or, like, purpose. Is he's more a... He is more a response than the other monsters.
This guy's a menace to society.
True. It's like most of the movie is more concerned about being like, oh, remember all these other cool monsters you've already seen? What if there was one so bad that all three of those had to team up? And it's like, oh, okay. Also, they keep referring to the new island that the Mothra baby is hanging out at as Infant Island, which I don't know if they've... I can't remember if they say that at the end of the original Mothra.
Infant Island.
That might be just the name of the Mothra Island. I forget.
The islands for infants.
Yeah, as Goo Goo Babies coded. But yeah, I
do
definitely
not play Goo Goo Babies. Do not play Goo Goo Babies on Infant Island. Goo Goo Babies is what you play with grown men.
True.
Yeah, like in Yakuza 2.
Yeah.
I think this is not as good as either the Godzilla vs. Mothra movie we watched, nor as good as Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Yeah, I mean, you're already kind of thinking like Godzilla vs. Mothra was okay.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I think Ghidorah is better than this.
That was the bank heist one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that one has the sauce.
The fucking weird white guy.
There is something so good about, like, just a regular ass jewel heist movie, and then the jewels start floating away, and everyone's like, well, what the fuck? Then there's, like, giant alien squid, like, in the sky.
but also the cops are like, we're still gonna deal with the bank heist shit, because, like, they can't do stuff for someone else's problem.
We still have a job to do. It's really good.
Fucked Up, those came out in the same year.
No, they were just cranking this shit.
No,
out.
hold on. Yeah, Godzilla vs. Mothra was also the same year. That's ridiculous.
That is, yeah. I mean, these movies are very short. Like, this was like a clean 90. Yeah. So I could see how if you have all of that stuff there already. And honestly, a lot of the cast is overlapping, too.
I can definitely see if you're Subaraya, you're probably like, well, if I have to make so many of these movies a year, I may as well just do it in the 30-minute format on weekly television.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much overlap, because it really does feel for some of these, they could have used the same suits and actors and, like, sets to do like multiple scenes for different movies in one day if they needed to.
That was the fucked up thing with like when they did Daimajin. All three movies were the same year, and they all like basically filmed them
at once,
more or less. I think, even though the three movies had different directors, I don't know. It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
I wonder why Dai went background.
What's next on our Toho list?
Frankenstein versus Baragon.
Okay.
Yeah. The introduction of the famous
what was that second one?
Baragon.
Okay.
Yeah. He's really important. He shows up in GMK. Mothra and Godzilla and Ghidorah. Giant monsters all attack.
Trying to Chibi Baragon. Does this exist? I've learned. Okay, no, he's not in Chibi Godzilla raids again. Too much of my perspective of these characters are being filled in by Chibi Godzilla at this point.
I think Baragon is the one whose like suit gets turned into like Pagos and Naranka later.
That makes sense. I'm looking at him now. I could see he looks very ultra familiar. Chibi Godzilla Raids Again Season 3 did start, by the way. It's good. I probably have talked about it on this podcast before. Big fan.
Mm-hmm. That's been your profile picture before, so in places.
Oh, yeah. It like, in most Discord servers I'm in, and it would be my main Discord profile picture if I didn't start adding real-life people I know on Discord.
I see. Yeah. I understand. I was like, at some point you switched to a photo, and I was like, did something happen? Was it?
Yeah. I started adding people who like I call like Frank and not like, you know, fucking like Get a Robo 92. You know. So, also, this is probably my favorite selfie I've taken.
Mm-hmm.
It has a cool lighthouse in the background.
It does have a cool lighthouse in the background.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have more stuff.
What you been up to?
Quite a bit. So I did have a deadline week, which did impact things, but it was not the worst deadline of my life. Basically, right after we got done recording last week's podcasts, I saw in my YouTube recommendations, because, you know, every now and again you're on YouTube and it's like, oh, we have some free movies. It's like, oh, okay. I watched one called Insert Coin, which is maybe the most generic name you could ever have for a documentary about an arcade game company. And it starts with a guy being interviewed, and I went, why does this fucker look familiar? And then later in the documentary, when he talks again, it says, text, right underneath him, Ernest Cline, writer of Ready Player One, and I went, God damn it!
No.
So this is a documentary about the arcade game developer Midway, but before they were Midway, they were
Peakway.
True. They were Williams Electronics, and there was another competitor called Midway that they acquired, but then for business reasons they used the Midway name, which the Williams people were really mad about. So they're known for, making shit like, the cruisin' racing games, Mortal Kombat, Narc, Terminator 2 light gun game. And they go through basically, like, in chronological order, all of, like, their big arcade game hits. Not a ton here that I don't feel like I feel like I've heard most of this stuff before, just existing as, like, someone interested in video games on the internet for long enough, right? Like all the controversy with Mortal Kombat and, like, the console ports of Mortal Kombat locking the violent stuff behind, like, codes you had to input, and, like, how the differing degrees of Mortal Kombat violence on the Super Nintendo and Genesis home ports was, like, part of the whole, like, warring brands thing with the console wars, and, like all that stuff I had heard before. They talk about War Gods and how that game was kind of like a horrible, like, knockoff, like, Mortal Kombat thing. Like a lot of this stuff I'm just like, okay, I'm familiar with. There were two things here that I had never heard before that I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. The first is that basically the entirety of, like, the American violent arcade game, like, popularity boom can be traced back to one sprite artist in a meeting for the run and gun game Narc going, like, he raised his hand and he went, hey, so when I'm animating a guy getting hit with the rocket launcher weapon, what do we want that to look like? And that he goes around the room and everyone's like, well, I mean, can you, like, draw him on fire? Can, like it would rip the body apart and like the limbs would go flying off. And he's like, okay, this is gonna look really, like, gross. And they're like, yeah, do it like that. They went, okay. So he animated the rocket launcher basically blowing people apart and, like, their flaming torso and limbs and shit flying all different parts all over the screen. And everyone went, oh, this looks sick. We should do more of this type of shit.
Damn.
Which is really, like, I love, like, it's something you take for granted of, like, oh, like, how do you draw someone getting hit by, like, that? When it comes to, like, weapons and shit in games like that. And it's like, oh, like, it's natural at some point that would come up in one of these games. The other thing was that when, like, the first Cruisin' arcade game came out, and was very heavily, like, marketed as, like, oh, this is using Nintendo's Ultra 64 hardware, when Nintendo wanted to prove, like, hey, we're making a 3D console and we're getting into 3D graphics. Nintendo basically paid Midway to make their own proprietary 3D graphics engine that was completely unrelated to anything that was inside the Nintendo 64. So they basically paid off Midway to make, like, their own 3D game and be like, oh yeah, we made this using the stuff Nintendo gave us. And that wasn't true at all.
That's really funny.
Yeah, and he's like, we got a lot of money out of it, so we didn't really care, but we did basically just get paid to lie for Nintendo. It was pretty funny. But yeah, overall, pretty good documentary. Ernest Cline does just keep showing up to be like, yeah, I kept trying to, what, I can't remember the other Midway, I'm gonna look up Midway top-down shooting game. Total Carnage, yes, was another run and gun game that was, like, lifting directly from, like, RoboCop and, like, shit like that. But I guess there's, like, a part where, like, there's a character in the game that references, like, a pleasure dome that people, like, it was one of those video game rumors of, like, oh, how do you get to the pleasure dome?
Oh, I see.
And Ernest Cline keeps showing up to be like, I tried so hard to get into the Pleasure Dome and I just couldn't find, and it's like, why did you put this in the documentary?
Oh my god. Get him out. What's he doing?
I hate that guy. But yeah. The other thing, actually, now that I'm looking at the credits for this game, that I do think is kind of an egregious like missing person in this documentary, is that it has a complete lack of Ed Boon. People talk about Ed Boon, but Ed Boon himself does not show up to be interviewed. And I don't know if they just couldn't make that happen, or if maybe his current employer wouldn't allow for it. But either way, it's just kind of an awkward, like, voice to be lacking in this thing, because he was, integral part of the Midway and, like, Mortal Kombat experience back in the day. But otherwise, pretty alright documentary. I've seen worse. I guess speaking of arcade games and fighting games, quick Izumi check-in. I have switched mains. I am
fish-pilled.
I'm fish-pilled.
Yeah. Shout out to the time you accidentally joined my friend and I playing.
Yeah, I this is funny. I saw Mel was playing Uni 2 while I was playing Uni 2, and I attempted to right-click on this, like, Steam thing to invite to game. And I actually just joined a lobby when I was playing with her friend. So I played one game and then the lobby disbanded, and I was like, whoops. But yeah, she's fun. I think the preview led me astray. The fish is not outright villainous so much as a, like, kind of ambiguously aligned regional goddess figure. That may or may not be mean. I think the jury's still kind of out. But does seem to want to, at the very least, prevent the end of the world from happening. So, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
So I've been having fun with that. I don't really have too much to say other than, like, yeah, I've just completely given up on Chaos. He just don't work good in this game. I'm trying to find a specific Reddit post that is, like, the perfect encapsulation of me switching, that I don't know if it's been deleted or if I can't. Oh, yeah, no. This is a 13-second video that basically is the perfect encapsulation. It's called Poor Chaos on r/undernight inbirth. But, like, his lizard just gets annihilated by everything in this game, and it's kind of hard playing a puppet character when your puppet is, like, made out of paper.
Yeah.
And Izumi can just have her fun little fish friend float around in bubbles and distract and make annoying projectiles you have to dodge and deal with on the screen. And people love to jump into the bubble, is what I found, actually. If you give an Undernight... Yes. Yeah. The children yearn for the bubble, is what I've learned playing right.
We need to go back to Ultra 7.
Hop on Ultra 7.
Yeah. It's fun, because then it's a big bubble that fills, like, a bunch of the screen. If you connect with it, like, the enemy connects with it, I should say, they get trapped in the bubble, and it leads to, like, a free combo. It's good. I like her a lot. Fish friend is fun. The other thing I did, this is very quick, but the Quanba Sapphire came in, which is their new leverless controller that feels great. It comes with, like a wrist rest thing, like you would have on a keyboard or something. I'm gonna send a photo in the chat. I'm gonna replace the art. I can't change the art on the wristpad, but it's fine. I kind of like the look of it anyhow. But yeah, it's just a really good, high-quality leverless controller. Cheaper than the Kitsune, I believe, which was the other one. Oh yeah, it's way cheaper than the Kitsune. But, like, ever since the leverless explosion kind of happened, a lot of the, like, traditional arcade stick or, like, third-party controller peripheral companies have been like, hey, what if we had, like, a more premium, like, quality option for people? And I kind of wanted the Razer Kitsune, but it was just way too fucking expensive. Like, I think that one is, like, yeah, this one's, like, $250, $300, and I'm like, I don't want to spend that much. so I never went for that, but this is 180, which is like that perfect line of like, okay, this is, but like, I keep buying like the $60 like cheap like hot leverless controllers, and the thing that happens with those is that they're good for like 6 months and then they start to fall apart. Like the pins that like pin together the acrylic layers stacks that they have for the controller just like will fall out on their own. They get weak. They're pretty cheap. And it's like, well, if I'm buying like a new one of these like every 6 months to a year anyways, like I'd rather just spend money on like a really good quality one of these. And I decided, like, you know, to get used to the new controller, why don't I hop on my PlayStation 5 Tekken 8 account that I haven't touched for a bit and just catch that account back up to where I am rank-wise on PC. So I was smurfing, you know. Mm-hmm. I did go on a 16-game win streak. It felt good. And I caught back up. So yeah, that's my fighting game corner. Other two things I have that are a little more substantial. I don't know if I've ever talked about, probably not actually, because it's been a while since one of these released. I think even pre-podcast. I have for the longest time been like, man, I really want to like Super Robot Wars, but every time I try to play one, I just don't like them. From the writing just being like, this character would not fucking say that, to, oh my god, this is the blandest strategy RPG
don't you like
ever
it
played.
when every character is written to call Char a beta cuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one guy keeps posting screenshots about it.
Don't you like it when every like interesting wrinkle a character has in any mecha show gets erased so that they can become a generic cool guy, and then all of the Super Robot Wars fans go, oh, they fixed the character. They fixed it, guys.
That one guy who posts about Super Robot Wars all the time got mad at me when I reposted something that he posted and said like, oh, he wouldn't say that, and then that account responded and said, how do you know? And for a moment I was like, okay, I didn't know you were like one person. I thought this was you. I did not know that I was like reposting, like I was quote tweeting like a guy who is passionate about this. I thought you were just an account that posted this shit because that's all you do. And then I had to respond and be like, I can think that. I'm allowed to think that. Shut up. That's so weird.
So something I have learned, so I guess this is all to say, Super Robot Wars Y came out, and when they announced, like, I kind of looked at it, and at first I was like, I don't think I'll pick it up. And then I looked at the series that they have, and I'm like, they have some fun picks in here. Like, the big exciting pull, I think, for most people is that Season 1 of G-Witch is on this. But, like, they have,
Dyna
like...
Xenon's there, too.
Dyna Xenon's there, that's the other big one. Dyna Xenon was what got me excited. Not gonna lie, I was kind of excited about G-Witch, too. Brave Raideen, which I still haven't watched beyond, like, 2 episodes of. They have Dunbine, they have Elgheim, which I'm like, ooh, I'm in the middle of wrapping one of those up, and I like me some Dunbine.
It's time for it.
It's time for...
Elgheim.
Yeah. They have G-Gundam, Wing, Char's Counterattack, and I'm like, yeah, like, all those fun. The Seed Destiny, which I'm like, but sure. I'm a little bit surprised it's not Seed Freedom, to be completely honest with you. I don't know if maybe production-wise... What was G-Witch or Seed Freedom more recent?
Seed Freedom.
Seed Freedom was, right? Yeah, okay, maybe... Because, so, apparently the reason they only have G-Witch Season 1 this year is they were, like, by the time we started making this, Season 2 hadn't aired yet.
Yeah.
So, like, that was the cutoff, so that does make sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, a few other stragglers. Majestic Prince, which I've never seen, I've heard is kind of mid. But overall, like, the whole package, they got Macross Delta, I'm like, okay, this seems like a fun bunch that I enjoy this if it's done well. And of course Code Geass, which is how the game starts. Mel, you haven't seen Code Geass, but
yeah,
this game ends with this game starts, the first scene is the ending of Code Geass.
Incredible.
And it's the ending of Code Geass, but then it cuts to all of the other characters from a bunch of the different shows watching the ending of Code Geass happening.
God.
And they're all going, holy crap, and then it cuts to Hiro Yui, and he's like, I know exactly what's happening here.
Of course he does! Oh my god!
Which I'm like, okay, maybe this game is great. Actually,
I just want to say, yesterday, I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen the Wing 30th anniversary video. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I was like, yeah. Imagine if you did just reduce Wing to or hype and aura moments. Maybe it'd actually be good.
Yeah.
They have, I can't remember all, but like, so they're doing the traditional thing that Super Robot Wars. So from what I gather, Super Robot Wars kind of has two different approaches to this, which is either the crossover is what if all of these series existed in one dimension, or it's their separate dimensions that like get merged together through some like big force or something. This is doing the like merged setting, trying to make it all make sense. And what they're doing with that is like you have your Earth faction and you have your space faction. And like the space faction starts as like, I think it's like Zex, Durandal, Haman, and Char, and then through machinations that have yet to be explained, Char becomes the head guy of that. I have some theories how that happens. And then Earth is Treize and Lelouch, and then Lelouch takes over from Treize.
Oh my god.
And it's set up as, Char and Lelouch are about to launch an all-out war, but then Code Geass stuff happens, and that gets averted. And I'm like, this is an incredible setup, actually. But now there's like an uneasy, peaceful period that is now disturbed because there's a big advanced super city in Japan. And there's like a rich lady who's like the daughter of she's turning 14 years old. It's her birthday. And she's like the daughter of like a famous scientist who like basically laid the groundwork for this futuristic city to like, you know, take root and be this prosperous like city within Japan. It turns out the city is actually one giant battleship. And she is now, because of her deceased dad's wishes, in control of the city, which is now flying and only obeys her commands. And the protagonist is a ninja, which is an acronym for some ridiculous thing. That was paid by her deceased dad to be her personal bodyguard on her 14th birthday, as she has to take control of this giant flying vessel. And kind of like lead it to prosperity and hopefully like, you know, navigate like the political tensions between Earth and space as like this weird, awkward, like utopian paradise city in the middle of everything. I've only played so far in. I'm still like, I think at the tail end of chapter 1. I did the mission where all the Dynazenon people get roped in. They're just inhabitants of that city. Like they go to school in that city. And then the plot of Dynazenon happens and they all get in the robot and stuff. Wu Fei shows up for a bit in the tutorial to help out. And he's really mad about everything. Which is great.
Do you get to pick your gender? And if so, does he give different advice if you pick a woman?
So I did pick the woman. I was waiting for him to learn that the protagonist was a woman. Okay. And make a comment about it. He doesn't. I was like, that he would not fucking say that. He would be really weird about this, actually. But yeah, there's still time. They haven't met face to face.
I see. He'll be like, oh my god, I was teaching a woman. Of course you didn't know anything.
So we'll have to see how that all plays out. I'm really curious to see what they do with... So, like, there is, like, they basically call it doesn't, they don't call it the Earth Federation exactly, but it's like, it's the Earth Federation.
Mhm.
And I'm curious how G Gundam works in this setting with that. And also, like, what they do with the G-Witch kids. There's a lot of just, like, how are they all gonna, like, how are they all gonna wrangle all this together into one setting? I that is the part of this that I am kind of most excited about. The gameplay is what I'm used to from Super Robot Wars, which is, hey, what if you moved around a big empty map with no interesting terrain and did super moves where you get to see the cool animated attack from the anime you watched, which I'm like,
I
yeah,
see.
that's neat, but then after the third time you turn the animation off because you've seen it already. Still, like, I do think that maybe sometimes these games get a little too much of a pass for how boring they actually play. Like, the gameplay is just not good in my opinion.
I guess
playing
what- I guess
better
what-
SRPGs.
Yeah, I guess when I see a
I've been
grid
playing-
this like flat, right? So
Yeah, I haven't been talking about it, but I have been replaying Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions before that Tactics remaster comes out. And yeah, that's I like playing that game. You have to make some tough decisions and interesting decisions, and there are builds, and yeah.
I should do a replay of that because I did some patching stuff because I was annoyed by some aspects of the game when I tried to play it. I think that made my experience weird.
That's what's always tricky about old RPG balance patches like that.
Like there's some stuff in the game I hate, which is like, more job points is a skill you have to equip. But also like there's stuff about like the way a random encounters work that's a bit tedious, but also the game is balanced for it. So
yeah. Final Fantasy Tactics rules because every time I play that game, I'm like, oh, I've played Final Fantasy Tactics before. Surely the famous walls and pitfalls that this game has with its difficulty won't affect me this time. And then I get to those exact same pitfalls and walls, and I'm like, ah, fuck. How do I do this again? Ah, shit, this game is hard. Good times. But yeah, I will report back in with Super Robot Wars Y. The other thing I have learned, actually, though, digging a little bit deeper, so the Super Robot Wars games I attempted to play and get into the series with were the like VXT trilogy, which were the ones that were coming out in like Southeast Asia with the full English translation. Yeah. And from what I gather, while I think those games are liked for their gameplay, the vibe I've gotten from people I've seen talk about them is maybe the writing the writing for those games weren't ever really their strongest suits. So maybe this is the one that I'll be like, oh yeah, this one hits for me. I did try playing 32, but it seems like everyone fucking hates 30, and apparently that game is like 100 hours long, and everyone's like, that's too long. So... yeah.
Nice.
I have one last thing.
Oh fuck! It's Smash Bros. Time.
da, 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 da. Yeah.
Put Ultraman in Smash Bros.
Kylo Ren.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
So I really thought going into this recording I would talk to all of you about beating Tales of Phantasia. That game has a lot more optional shit to do that you unlock by stepping foot into the final dungeon and then backing out and going back into the world.
Ever.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like literally it's like you read online like how do you get this, and it's like step foot into the final dungeon, go back out onto the overworld, you now have unlocked a shit ton of optional shit to do. So I still really like Tales of Phantasia a lot. I think the optional stuff in that game is not the best, most well thought out considered stuff in the world. First thing I want to talk about, you get a 6th party member that is new for the PlayStation remake of this game, who was a character that was part of one of the longer optional side quests you can do. So she exists in the Super Famicom version, but she graduates to party member in the PlayStation version after you finish her side quest. You get her at what I would call the 85% mark of the game.
That's wild.
Which is a little late for characterization. This also means every time you do any plot beat or any random side thing, and you click the skit button, she gets a little skit, but nobody else in the game has really, like, usually the other, like, skits in the game feel very party focused, and every now and again they'll have one that's really focused on one of the characters. She gets so many that are just, like, what kind of feels like pity skits, catching her back up to make her feel like she's more part of the team, but by doing so, it makes her still feel like the weird sixth member that showed up last minute, and it doesn't really quite work, in my opinion. She also suffers from one thing that is unfortunate. So, in the original Tales of Phantasia, you have a party member early on in the game, and then because of plot reasons, you get separated from them. He then becomes the fifth member of the party midway through the game, and he's still low level, and part of his character arc is, fuck, I'm so weak compared to everyone else. So every time you rest at an inn for a while, he has like a training montage where he's staying up late, practicing really hard so he doesn't feel like a loser. And he gets bonus levels to catch him up to where everyone else is.
Oh, that's sick.
It's really cool, and like it adds a lot to him as a character, and it's fun because like he has this constant like chip on his shoulder of like, oh fuck, I can't let everyone else down. She joins the team lower level, and you don't get that. She just is lower level and has to catch up manually the old-fashioned way. Which is a bummer, and apparently even from what my friend Trick said, who like he's a big Phantasia fan, even when she does catch back up, she's not really she's kind of the worst member of the team still. So it's a bummer. I'm still using her just because it's like, yeah, I might as well. But we'll see. I feel like when I go to the final dungeon, I'm gonna like just pick my 4 favorite guys out of the 6, and do it that way.
I forgot who I used to beat the final boss of Symphonia, but also I can probably just look it up on YouTube.
The other thing that is annoying to me about the side quest stuff, well, there's 2. The first is that there's a very big treasure hunt that you get to do that's like, oh, there was a famous pirate back in the day that left a bunch of treasure everywhere. We're gonna give you obscure hints to go around on the overworld map, to all these different random little islands you would otherwise just like fly over, and like find buried treasure. It's almost all worse than like the endgame gear you already have access to by that point anyways, so it just feels like a massive
when
waste
I'm
of
in
time.
the penultimate dungeon of Phantasy Star 1 and I get a treasure that's 1 gold.
Yeah. And also, yeah, you know what? The game has that issue too, where it's like, hey, your reward for doing the side thing was money, or a thing you can sell for a lot of money. I'm drowning in money. I don't really have anything else in this game I can spend money on, other than consumables, which are very cheap. But then the big thing that I'm kind of bummed by so far, and I have, I think, 2 optional dungeons to do that I think have some boss fights associated with them. But so far, a shit ton of the optional stuff that I've done, and by that I mean like 2 of the big optional bonus fights in this game. One is you get to fight Odin, who is like tucked away in like a previous dungeon that you can revisit and be like, hey, protagonist, 1v1 me, bro. And I feel like Phantasia's battle system is at its best when I am doing main character combos in a way to position the enemy or stun lock him from like fucking up the rest of my party, while I pause the game to assign them spells to cast and items to use to heal or like do like status ailment stuff, or like there's like a nice mixture.
That does seem like the way Phantasia is really designed.
Yeah, like there's a cool thing where that game's firing on all cylinders, where it's like I need to keep the major damage dealers of this boss fight busy while the rest of my party can do what they need to do to turn the odds in my favor. And it's really like it's really cool because it's like every 15 seconds you're like fighting, and then it's like, okay, let's pause, let's take stock. What's the best, most optimal thing I can have everyone do to make sure we all get through this without getting blown the fuck up?
Yeah.
And like there's a nice tension to it.
And I think to my understanding is like there's a degree to which that's still kind of what like the intent is in later games, just like diffused, just because you have more party members who are more playable with different roles. Like
that makes sense.
In the dialogue, I like for instance in Abyss, the ideal case would be like your Luker guy would lock down an enemy while Jade or Tyr cast a spell or something.
Mm-hmm. So the problem I have with the Odin boss fight, and then also there's an arena that you do that you have to play through 10 times. It's like a tournament setup where you fight 8 matches against enemies that are theoretically supposed to be stronger. There's a lot of enemy reuse, and it's not like, it's basically just having you do the same, like a very similar sequence of fight, like 8 fights in a row 10 times before you unlock the cameo fight for this game, which is a bonus boss who is a party member, I think from Tales of Destiny.
That makes sense.
And that is also a solo endeavor. And my problem with both of these is that when you take out the other 3 party members, yes, the fight is harder, but also it kind of just becomes like a stat check where it's like, can you do you have the armor and the stats you need to avoid being stun locked by the enemy? And are you able to tank their attacks long enough for you to start stun locking them? And it's just not what I find compelling about the gameplay, and that was kind of a bummer for me. Like right now, I beat Odin by equipping, basically I equipped gear that made it so that I nullified 90% of his attack output because of like elemental nullification stuff. And if I didn't do that, the other alternative I would have had was basically to grind 15 more levels so that he doesn't just stun lock me in the corner as soon as he gets one hit on me, and I literally cannot input anything because I just die right away. And I'm kind of having that with the arena bonus boss right now, where I can get her down to about 1/4 of her health, but at some point I will just get trapped in the corner, and I literally, there's nothing I can input on the controller that will get me out of being stun locked. Because the stats just aren't in my favor, and that kind of just feels bad. So that's kind of been like I would have maybe done this a little bit differently. I'm hoping the other optional dungeon stuff has the rest of the party involved so that I get some more interesting fights that way. But yeah, otherwise still really enjoying the game. I'm curious to see how it ends. I feel like I still barely know anything about the main villain, so I'm excited to see what they do with him in the last few moments of the game. And see if he gets more of a character right at the end, kind of maybe Final Fantasy style.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll probably be done by the time we record next.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, sick. That might be us done for the podcast because I believe we don't have any emails.
Nope.
Is that true?
No.
No emails. So we can plug stuff. If you want to follow this show online, you can do so at @ultra_Q on Twitter. That is at @ultra_QUEUE. We are also on Blue Sky at @ultraQUEUE. No underscore on Blue Sky. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm at Red November. Mal, your plugs.
You can send an email to ultraqpod@gmail.com, and we have the coffee UltraQ Fund. Brad.
I'm B Invoked. That's BEINVOKED on Blue Sky and YouTube, all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. All right. That is us this week. Next week will be 3 more episodes of Ultraman 80 and nothing else. I think the next time we have something going on is when we've got the next Golden Kamui, but I'm not.
Next Omega thing is in October. but it's after the Golden Kamuy. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you next week. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Later.
Let's go UGM UGM この星は美しい星誰もが愛する青い星この星を守るのが我らの使命何か怪しいものが来る正体